Hello and welcome to all of our pool fans joining us from across the globe. Welcome to the 2025 Predator European Championships. We're bringing you this match today from the beautiful city of Tallinn, and you join us for the quarterfinals of the men's 10 ball. As we see the lag, I'm Gethin Davis, and I'm joined in the commentary booth today by Graham Hickman, who I've been reliably informed has had a sneak peek of one of our players during the last 16. Good evening, Graham, and welcome.
Hi, Gethin. Thanks. Yes, welcome everybody. We're in for a little bit of a treat, I feel, here with this next match on the quarterfinals, as Gethin said. Yeah, Konrad Usushin against Emil Andre Gangflute. I have to say, I watched Konrad in the last 16 match. The last 16 match just a short moment ago. What an incredible match. He played unbelievable. And if you haven't seen that match, I would definitely encourage you to go back onto YouTube and watch that one back. He won 8-0 in his match against Michel Bartot. So we're in for a treat, Gethin, I think, if he continues on that form.
Yeah, well, I will let you in on a little secret. I did get to commentate on Emil's first match of the day, and he struggled at the beginning but started to get hold of his break and really started to take away with it. I believe he won 8-2, so we could have a really good matchup on our hands here, especially if they've both got their grips on the break, as we see Konrad's effort. He has a shot.
Yeah, he was breaking very well in his match. And one thing that we noticed, Tim and myself, during the commentary was he does not hang around. So much so that he wasn't even choking his cue that often. He's running around the table, playing very aggressive.
We did get to see the house favourite playing in a very similar fashion on the TV table earlier today. And he didn't even seem to need to think between shots. He was playing that quick, so it'd be interesting to see if Konrad needs to slow down a little bit. I know Emil has a nice steady pace, and he'll be doing his best not to try and keep up with Konrad if he's going to be playing that sharp. So
yeah, a bit of a deep shot here. This is a tough shot, Gethin. He's got to draw all the way back up the table. Oh, what a shot he's played there.
How do you like that?
I'll take those apples. Very good. Great first shot under pressure. A lot of the balls are congested on this left side of the table, but the only ball that I see is a bit of an issue. Could be the 9 ball. All the rest are pretty open.
Well, he's really looking to show Konrad his confidence. He's come in as if he's just walked straight in from his last match.
Yeah, and these players have been playing a little bit today. A few matches. Got into that a little bit too much, I think. But they've been playing somewhat a few games today, so that will make their arms feeling pretty good. A few of them have been on the TV tables as well, so we're getting to the stage where comfort level should be a bit higher than this morning, just getting started. Maybe he's going to get some cover here. Is he going to go all the way around 3 rails? Yeah. Oh.
Well, he took your suggestion and went round the 3 rails, which I thought he played very well considering how close he was to the cushion, but sadly, tight pockets on these Predator arc tables. Not very forgiving.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to play into the 10 ball or something here. Try and make that 9 ball a little bit more favourable. It's a funny one because he doesn't want to hook himself, so yeah, taking a little bit longer than normal. I'm half wondering, could he play into the 10 and then continue the cue ball on into the 6 ball?
I did notice from the previous camera angle that that 9 does pass the 10 up into the corner. With the 7 where it is, it could he listened, and he fell short, sadly.
Yeah, that was a danger on that shot. It was one of them funny ones where he couldn't guarantee a 6-ball. He probably could have played a slow nudge into the 10 and just moved it a little bit, and then still had a pretty okay shot on the 6-ball. But this is makeable still. It's tough, but it's makeable. It's close, mind. No.
Well, he didn't give away the foul, but he's given away an ideal opportunity for Emil here, looking to get the first rack on the board.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missed opportunity there for Conrad. I think it was a little bit tricky just to play the right shot. He tried to open something up, but yeah, it was always a chance of hooking yourself at that pace. So second bite of the cherry for Emil here, and it'd be very nice to get one on the board, settle himself down.
Yeah, he's come around nicely for that, to play it in the centre pocket.
Yeah, just follow through. And in the match earlier that we were commentating on, Tim and myself with Michel Bartol, and a few of the matches today as well, getting off to a good start is obviously super important. And you've got to take the chances when they present themselves to put your opponent under pressure.
That's what Emil's done here now, and is going to ask a question of Conrad. However, that was against the break, so depending on how Emil's break is looking, he would be hoping to steal a 2-0 lead here, which, as we've seen throughout today, has asked questions of the opponent, so be interesting to see how his break fares.
Yeah, definitely. Balls have been breaking pretty well for the most part today. Haven't seen any crazy breaks in terms of bad breaks, if I could say that. A few clusters, but that's normal with 10 ball. I've seen some absolute phenomenal breaks, people putting 3 and 4 balls. I'm sure one of the other commentators said, did somebody put 5 balls today? I'm not sure, that's quite possible.
Well, Emil breaking as close to the centre as he's allowed to go.
Yeah, they're not allowed to go into that break box. They have to be outside. Great cue ball, by the way. How's the one? Oh, a couple of double kisses. And the 9 and 10 is also locked again.
Yeah, for the second time.
I'm not sure if it's a combo in the top. Maybe it's a bit off. Looks a bit off. Does he play aggressive here and go for the bank? He's got a nice 3 rails if he plays the bank. But with the 10 ball and the 9 ball a little bit messy. Not much cover either, Gethin. So choices here for him.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. There's not much cover. There's such a good spread.
He could slow roll behind the 2 if he wanted to, but I think the bank could be the shot, you know. Nice playing the slow roll behind the 2. He's got it as well, I think. Just.
Yeah, I think he has. He's played that extremely well. It was a difficult shot. And more importantly, he's not given Conrad an opportunity to get back in and steal this one back. So he's keeping Conrad.
Oh, he didn't cover it. But yeah, that's what you need to do with Conrad. You need to keep him away from potting balls. I'm not sure how much of the one he could see here, Gethin. He could play maybe a slow kind of half ball 1 and just drift over to the side rail behind the 7 ball there, I think.
Yeah, the 7's in a good spot to aim for.
Would have to be a slow one though, I think, just to make sure it got there. I think that's what he's trying. Hasn't got there though. Quite a bit short, to be honest. He could have even tracked for that long rail and he still would have been okay.
Yeah, I think the angle he hit it, if he had have hit it harder, that 1 ball was going in, and as this is cool pocket, Conrad would be left making the decision of who plays the next shot, and locked behind the 7, I'm sure he would have given that back to Emil. So
yeah, 100%. So a little bit of a thinner 2, but still workable. He does need to think about this 9 and 10 at some point. I'm half wondering if he does leave an okay angle on the 7, does he play into the balls from there? That might be his path.
And will he have flashbacks of the first frame and decide to go in them with a little bit more force?
Yeah, I mean, he has got a shot here, Gethin. He could go 2 reels and half ball the 9 and just flick it on his way up. The cue ball come back across the centre of the table. If he pulls this off, it'll be a great shot.
Yeah,
might be in the back of his mind. Has he tried it? Maybe he did a little, but a little bit more cautiously because of what you said in the first frame. Didn't want to hook himself.
Yeah, I think if you were going to go for it, you had to go for it, though. I think coming half-hearted, it was always destined to leave him out of shape.
Yeah, I do see a shot here, though. He could play... Well, if he wants to be really aggressive, he could go
4
kind
rails.
of 4 rails, yeah, but I think playing just around the middle of the... Where his hand is now would be quite nice. If you can spin it a couple of rails. Yeah, it's coming there, around that area. Maybe a touch too far. Maybe a little bit too far. No, he might just have enough. Play on the right hand side. Has he got there?
Oh, he's played that great.
Just a bit unlucky.
Well, it doesn't look like he's moving around the table as quick as you portrayed him as earlier, so he's clearly taking this one a little bit, well, I wouldn't say more seriously, but taking a bit more care and due diligence.
Yeah, I just think the balls have been a little bit not straightforward. I'm pretty sure if the balls are in the wide open, you'll see him play at a pretty good speed. He had some puzzles to solve there.
Well, we've got a great overhead view there, but I'm still not convinced that he's got the potting shot on this 9. He's just taken a deep look at it. Maybe he can just bend it round a little bit. Maybe he doesn't need to.
I think you can just get through, you know.
Yes, he could. And, well, Conrad coming off the back of an 8-0 thumping. He's had a little bit of a rude awakening here from Emil.
Yeah, but I will say, though, I think the 2 chances that he has had at the table, they've both presented a bit of a tricky problem that he's tried to solve. It just hasn't worked out his way. And he did take on a bit of an aggressive 9 ball there. Very missable, but as you said, Emil will be very happy to pick up the pieces here. Conrad will be hoping for a good break.
As you can see in the background there, Graham, the tables are occupied with the quarterfinals in play. We have, again, an all-Spanish quarterfinal with Ika Andoni against Juan Carlos Exposito. All of these games have just started, so we'll keep you abreast of any score lines that take our fancy. And then we have Christian Mriva against Kadikis. Kadikis has just taken a 1-0 lead there. And we have, on the last table, Stefan Kasper is against Yaroslav Polak. That will be a good game too. I got to see a bit of their action earlier, so hopefully we'll keep an eye on that as the game progresses. Thank you.
Yeah, good call on there. Thanks to see Stefan there in the quarterfinals. I commentated on him a little bit in the Euro Tour, just in the last one in February. Hadn't really seen much of him, but I think he made his first final. It wasn't meant to be on the day, but he looked very impressive, and he's carried that form on from there to be shooting some good stuff. So he's probably one to watch. A bit of a snooker background, snooker kind of style, but very dangerous.
Yeah, I have to agree. When I watched him, he did have a bit of snooker about him. You do notice the difference between them and the raw pool players.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is a great opening chance for Emil to get another one, because that 3 ball does go on the side. However, where the 4 ball is, Gethin, it doesn't go in the 8 where the 8 ball is, so that would have been a nice pocket to play it on. And judging by the position you'll have on the 3, I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can get back for the 4 in the top right.
Is he going to try
have
to
to go
throw it through a gap?
He might go high. Yeah, he's going to go high. I thought he might do, just to give him that option of coming back for the 4 on the side or the 4 in the top left pocket. That might be his option here.
He'd much prefer that than having to play the 4-8 combo.
Yeah, definitely. I think top left would be ideal. But he was pretty straight, so he's chose for the middle. And judging by that, if he can go straight through for the 5 in the side, all of a sudden this rack opens up nicely.
Yeah, there's not too much in his way. With good control of the cue ball here. Oh, good view of his chalk on the arc table there. You notice the way he uses the chalk, it's got little wrinkles around it. He obviously twists it a little bit each time.
Yeah. It's funny to see those unique designs on chalks from players. Everyone's different. And this is turning into quite a nice layout. If he can just, I think he might be able to draw this. If he can miss, I don't know if he can actually. Can he miss the 6 ball and the 10 ball? He might have to play into them here.
Yeah, it's always fraught with danger when you've got to start moving balls around. With the 8 and the 9 up there, he's pretty much guaranteed, if he can negotiate these 3, of having a good path to victory. But you were right, Graham.
Yeah, I just think he couldn't avoid it. It's worked out actually quite nice, because he can also get his cue through there without hampering on the 7 ball. So whether he decides to, he's stretching over this 9 ball, referee's paying close attention. I wonder if he can go inside the 7, or does he go around? Yeah, he's gone around.
Has he just come a little bit too far for comfort? Possibly not. And when I say for comfort, I was talking about him having to run into the 10 ball, but I think he's just stayed flat enough.
Yeah, with the 8 ball over the bag, he can just draw above the 10 possibly. He should be fine. It's turning out to be quite a nice run out.
And dare we say, a dream beginning for Emil. If he'd have had a little look at the score sheets coming into these quarterfinals, he would have certainly had his eyes wide open and fearing the worst. So I would dare say a dream start for Emil.
Yeah, he's a little bit straight on this, but you can still probably punch it round either forward 2 rails or coming back, his personal choice. Yeah, he's punched it round a couple of rails. Nicely done.
Yeah, Conrad in his chair sitting, forced to watch from the chair. Something he clearly isn't used to, or hasn't been for the last few hours.
Yeah, he's looking pretty confident. Pretty confident. A few little bumps along the way, but weather the storms.
Yeah, as I was saying in the match that we were commenting on for Emil earlier, he was just finding his feet for the first few frames, and it was keeping close, and then he just seemed to move it up a gear. And if you've got that ability, and it was very early in the morning, it fares well. And it's something to bear in mind for the viewers at home. These guys have been playing, well, in fact, all of the players have been playing since first thing this morning. So you've got to think that fatigue is going to be coming into play, and there's a little bit of a longer wait for this match than they maybe would have. But again, they were playing for a bit later, so just other little conditions that might come into play.
Yes, long days, and as you start getting deeper in the tournaments, in the business end, then at some point you might have a crossover where you're playing 2 disciplines at the same time. Tomorrow we start the 8 ball, And after this is just, we're getting to the semi-finals of the 10 ball, so it will start to get a bit busy for the players.
Yeah, and I believe we have all of the 10 ball finals tomorrow.
Wow.
Ooh.
Just a casual 4 balls. What a break.
I was sort of half focusing on the leave on the 1 ball, but I didn't actually realise it was 4 in total. Casual 4.
The balls just evaporated. It was quite interesting. They just disappeared. It's funny how sometimes that works. I don't even think he's going to take this on.
No.
I don't know. He might have. Maybe.
Do you think he's thinking the 10 and the 4 would be quite a good blocker?
Yeah, try and get up behind the bottom of that 10 ball.
Yeah. It's a shame because they've, with not many balls left on the table and the spread he had, he was that pot away from really getting his teeth into a closing pattern. But I think he's made the right option here. Is there enough of the cushion, the long cushion, for him to consider the pot? Yeah,
I think so. And it would give him position on the 2 potentially, if he can manage the speed and judge it right. No, he didn't catch it.
No. But from that shot, it definitely was on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, raise of the eyebrows from Conrad there. He'll be looking at the table though and thinking that there isn't an easy pot for Emil, so he'll be hoping to come back to the table. What he'll be left with, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, he's gone back in the same place. I'm not sure if he's got there this time though.
No. It was tracking in the right direction, certainly.
Yeah, he could have it up and down here and try and use the 3 ball. Put the cue ball next to the corner pocket. Doesn't want a right side flick. Oh, he might have. Oh, maybe might even help him. I thought that might cause a bit of a gap, but I'm not sure.
No. It's not left the easiest of safeties, but glancing off the side of the 1 would probably be my first thought. As to which side of the 1, I'm going to leave you all guessing at home.
Yeah, I think he can just. It looks like he's bending it a little bit to try and. I'm not sure what he's playing. He didn't call anything, so. Bit of a containing one, but he's left a shot here.
Yeah.
And this is a chance.
Yeah, I can't see Conrad turning this one down.
No, and where the 2 is, he doesn't need to go crazy either.
Good time for Conrad to turn things around, though, by all accounts, Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what he needs, just an open table, get his arm going. And these are the kind of tables that he was just eating up. It's interesting there, he's taking a little bit more time on some of the shots. He did have to pinch a little bit there, that's why he took a little bit longer. Needs to get a couple of reels, 2 reels and miss this 7 ball. Come around where his hand is, maybe. Somewhere around there.
Yeah. Oh, is he going to get a little piece of the 10 here? Can he run through?
Yeah, I think if he can, it's still fine. We'll still push him. A couple of reels. Judged it really well.
Yeah, it did. Really judged that well.
This might be a little bit funky though, because he can't draw it straight back, I don't think, because of the middle pocket. So he might have to go forward here. Oh, but he could go straight in the short reel, so that's good. And then you see Gethin, he's just straight down, no messing.
Yeah. Emil is really going to have to keep him in the chair, because once he's up, he's off. And that was short work. He's bringing it back to 3-1. Asks questions of Emil now.
Yeah, this is what he does. So you've just got to, what you said, keep him in the chair, because as soon as you give him space to run, he's away. I think a little bit of safety, and not saying it's strategic or tactical, but maybe playing a few safety shots here or there just to slow him down. I'm not sure if Emil's game is also offense, but he seems to like playing a safety shot as well over offense, whereas I think Conrad can be very aggressive.
Yeah, now when we take a look at his cue and chalk.
I think he'll dance in his chair there. Seems to be very comfortable. Even though he's 3-1 down, there's still a way to go in this match. He'll be feeling relatively okay so far.
Yeah, I agree. I doubt he's daunted by the scoreline, but it was looking good for Emil, and I'm sure he'll not want to let Conrad get back into it too quickly. However, it's Conrad's break, and he's got a good cue ball.
Oh, 9 ball didn't go, 8 ball didn't go.
2 ball didn't go.
Yeah. It's a good split as well. If that one of those balls dropped, he had a very nice starting shot. So it's a 1-9 combo, get in, and then that 2 ball's a little bit in a not a friendly place, especially where the 3 ball is. So he needs to get good position here from the combo and then from the 1.
Does the 1 ball squeeze past the 9? Because if it does, I feel he could just stun run through for shape on the 2, but that might be a big ask with these tight pockets on the arc table.
Yeah, I think a slow combo is the smart choice here. He won't want to play it too hard because he doesn't want the 1 to run away from the pocket. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of plays this like a dead weight kind of shot. Yeah, he's played it a bit hard. That was a danger.
Yeah, you said running away.
Yeah, you had to play that a lot slower. It was, like I say, a dead weight combo. Just because you were playing the 9 ball so thin, it's all about the pace. But he could be hiding behind these 3 balls at the top of the table, I think. Draw across.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Jump shot coming. He might even he'll have to gap get in, maybe.
Well, you know, if he hasn't, he's only jumping over the edge, and I know for sure from past experience that Conrad has not got any problem pulling out his jump stick. So it's from that view, from a great overhead view, from that view, it looks like he's covered most of it.
This looks good behind the 8 here. Oh, I just checked up a little bit. Because all the balls are to the left side of the table, he's probably going to play on the right side of this 1, run off 2 cushions, potentially, and come back up the same place. Yeah, lots of target there. So many good things can happen if you catch it well, and he has done. Yeah. Surely there's not a gap through there. He's looking in with intent. Surely not. It'd be incredible if you can get.
He's having another look. You know, there might be a gap down there.
I think he's looking at the long rail. The 3 is in the way. Yeah, I don't know what he's looking at. He could probably, I don't know, he definitely can't bend it. I wonder if he's trying to go inside the 3. He might kick this in. Oh, he's putting the ball safe. That's how tough it was.
Yeah. And that would be very interesting for the viewers at home to see how he's played that, and knowing that he's going to give away ball in hand.
Yeah, but Emil's already... Sure. Sorry, Gethin. Yeah, I think he's already made the decision. He's going to play another safety shot here. But he could play it in such a way to open them 2 balls up that Conrad's just put safe and put him behind the 5 there. Be nice if they open up nice. Tough shot this to get out of Gethin from here.
Absolutely. However, even with ball in hand, I don't think that you can pot the 1. It looks very tough. It's coming to an awkward position behind the 6.
Yeah, but then if you just give him another foul, then that'll be 2 fouls. And as we know, 3 fouls is loss of frame. Consecutive fouls, that is.
I saw that in Jasmine Ushan's game earlier today. And I think it took everyone by surprise. That was a great shot.
Well, he played a shot in his previous game, a 3-rail kick in, which was incredible. The 5 ball was around the 10 spot. 3 rails kicked in. I think that was a 4-rail safety shot. That has to be up there with one of the best shots I've seen safety-wise. Escapes. He's going to have to find another one.
Well, you have to be put into an amazing snooker to be able to play an amazing get-out shot. So we're being treated to a good safety battle here. And as you notice, all the balls seem to be tracing over to this left-hand side.
Yeah, this one is a little bit easier, if I can say it that way. He might go 1 rail, or he might try to go around the back of it. Yeah, he's trying to... Oh, what a shot he's played here. Doesn't want the point. Oh, that is absolutely so unlucky. He played that very well.
Yeah, that was a shame, and it's popped out enough to give him a good chance of the 1 ball. The 2 is tricky. I don't think it goes into the centre, so he's going to need to get very careful with his shape here. Was close to nudging it out a bit there, Graham.
Yeah, it's not a bad angle. He's got to focus down on this one. These ones need a bit of attention. But he is going to come back for the 3 in the side, I think. Judging by... Yeah, he's going to try and draw this back.
Yeah. He actually made that look very easy, Graham.
Yeah. He gave it a few extra seconds just to make sure he was dialed in before he pulled the trigger, but very well executed.
Yeah, and well spotted. You know, these guys are on the shot clock here, so they just have to take a little bit of extra care and caution that they don't dawdle around the table. But it's always wise, like you said, to take extra time. Maybe he should have taken a bit of extra time there. I'm not too sure if he's left it, Graham.
Yeah, he's done the hard work there to get in position, but hard to tell from this side.
Tell me what you see there.
Yeah, I think he can get through. Not sure if he can get the cue ball out, but he will give it a go.
Oh yeah, a great angle.
Oh wow, he done well there to even get the cue ball out. Oh my gosh, he's not having the best of runs at the moment.
No, he tosses the chalk up and down in a, well, I don't know what I can do fashion.
Yeah, what's interesting is in his previous match, Michel Barteau didn't get much run at all. Some crazy things like that happened as well, so it's funny how Lady Luck averages itself out, so maybe it's his turn to get a little bit of bad run.
And you know, Conrad, very, very seasoned European player. He's seen it and done it all before. He will very likely just be brushing it off his shoulders and waiting for the next opportunity, but still, it's great for us viewing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's still a way to go in this match. It feels like Emil's just getting the rewards from the safety battles a bit more in control, whereas Conrad's doing all the kicking.
Yeah. And by all accounts, I think Emil was really looking to ensure that Conrad wasn't going on a march, and this will slow him down somewhat, especially if he can take the frame at this visit, which is looking rather likely.
I'm not sure on the angle here if the 10 ball comes into play. It's hard to tell. Let's have a look.
I was saying, it's a little bit funny. Does he punch it with side?
Yeah, I don't know if he can go around the back of the 10. By judging by how he's queuing, he probably can. Rather than coming out to the middle of the table. Let's see. Yeah, he could just get round the back. Played it well.
Yeah, that's great pace. Promising signs. I mean, the way Conrad delivered on the last frame, it's, you know, it asked a couple of questions of Emil, and this is exactly how you want to reply.
Nicely done. So again, he picks up the pieces. I have to say it was a little bit of an unlucky scratching off, but Emil has been in pretty much good control.
Yeah, and by all accounts, the way he's playing, he's in a well-deserved 3-1 lead. And a great view of the Kalevi Sports Hall there. It's a lovely venue. I was speaking to our colleague Mark earlier, who had the pleasure of living in Tallinn over in Estonia for a good while, and he was telling me how beautiful the venue is, and the way they kitted out for this tournament is beautiful. Predator's done such a lovely job. It looks like you're under the night sky when you're in there.
Yeah, it's a really special environment. Gives it a premium experience for all players. Yes, it's a bit daunting, but it's always nice to be on the TV table and have the referee and the cameras, and just to get a feel for what it's like in such a big event. A lot of these guys are quite familiar with this if they've been on Euro tours and travelled to some big events, especially quarter-final stage. But not just for the main guys, but for everybody else who's participating. You have 28 tables in action, all of them in fantastic condition, so they are getting a great experience nonetheless. Being on the TV does make it that extra nice. Has he got a ball? He has.
Did you see that? The same thing happened in was it the last break or his last break? The double kiss on the one ball, and it leaves it in this no man's land where there is a bank on, but there's also a good opportunity that if he misses the bank, he sells out. So interesting. His cue ball control is second to none. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm half wondering he takes this bank on with a slightly big pocket with the 10 there. There is a shot if he wants to be aggressive. Play the bank. Even if it does go a bit wide, he's naturally coming around a couple of angles towards the 2, so a lot of positive things could come from going for the bank. Yeah, he's called it.
I think if it would be great if he could swing that cue ball around, so he'll have the 2 ball in the 3 ball pocket there. It certainly goes. He's gone through the gap.
I can't believe that.
And he's missed the pot. Look at the leave, though.
Yeah, I think he's just, to be fair, I think he's gobsmacked that it didn't go in. I mean, to not hit the 10 and hit the point is quite incredible. And he was absolutely perfect on the 2 as well, so Conrad will be happy to be at the table, even if he is in a tough spot. Oh, he might take this, though. That could have been straight up the rail.
Yeah, that could. And you saw a lovely referee taking a close look there. There was a very big chance that he was going to hit the 10 ball first. Doing a great job out there. Where's he gonna put the cue ball here, Graham?
If he just plays it off 2 rails and puts it behind the 3 and tries to get the cue ball behind the 9. Oh, I don't know what he's playing. Up and down, round the back. Not a bad effort.
Not at all. I think, aside of that little nudge on the 8, he was going to leave Conrad in a really tricky position. Is there anything obvious? Not standing out at me, Graham.
No, it's one of them funny ones. He might just play the 1 straight back down to where the cue ball is, and maybe try to put the cue ball behind the 9. What's he called here? Oh, he called that pocket just in case.
Yeah.
It's a good shot, that. Great shot. Well, well thought out there. That wasn't straightforward.
No, he stunned it over with great control. And as you said, he called the pot for a backup.
Yeah, he does have a 2-reel kick behind it. He's calling the bottom corner just in case, but this one could go all kinds of ways. If he catches a thin edge, that's also could be a good option. He could also scratch if he catches right behind it. Or he could just kiss it and do it that way.
Yeah, he caught it rather full. I think that one's slowing up before it tracks behind the 9. And as tight as this cue ball is to the cushion, I fully expect Conrad to have a go at this.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because this 9 ball feels like a 1-ball tractor beam. Just keeps going back over there. He's letting it go. This is a pretty okay chance if he can just flick off the edge of this 9 ball. Doesn't want to play this at too much pace because it could run away quite far down the table, depending how much of the 9 he catches.
Yeah, we just got a view of Conrad studying the table there. He's probably thinking the same as you, Graham.
Yeah, he played it okay. Not sure on the angle. He might be going into 3 here again, Gethin, so you can play this one of 2 ways. You could try to draw it and just flick off the 3, or does he play kind of in the face of it and try to bump it maybe back across towards the middle so he can take it in the side, depending how the angle is.
Yeah, it's really all about the thickness of the contact.
That's what he's tried. Very well executed.
Yeah, he's come out well from that.
And he's got a nice angle. I don't know if it goes past the black. Looks really tight from here. Past the 8.
If it does, can he stun past the through the gap of the middle pocket and the 10? It's fraught with danger.
Yeah, I think he can get past the 10 fine. I think it's just hard to know. Or if he could zoom back there, we could see if that 4 ball could go or not. Either way, we'll find out in a moment. He might have played it for it in the side. Tell you what, that's not a bad effort if that's what he played. Very well executed.
I agree. He's got a bit of an angle on this. But I think here he just needs to make sure of the pot and get the cue ball down towards the 5.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much angle he has. That's what he's checking. Will he go inside the 10? I think he might do, looking at how he's playing it. Oh, he's missed it. How's your luck? Not too bad. It's potable, but it requires a little bit of control. Slow drag in maybe to hold for the 5 in the top right. Oh, maybe not. He might have to go up and down here. It's a bit thinner than we first thought.
Yeah, and
he needs to miss it. Oh, what a shot he's played there. Great shot.
That's a great shot, Graham. I actually thought he was going to come down towards the 9, and normally at the pace you want to play it at, the cue ball contacts the 9 and sits on the short cushion, so...
Yeah, he's played that very well. Come back down the centre of the table.
Yeah,
and
he's back.
This is a great chance.
You can just see once he sort of gets the beam of his closing pattern, he gets straight back into his... practice mode, it feels like, the way he plays.
Yeah, he just picks his spot and goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes forward here. 2 reels, just drift up past the 10 on the left side of it. Perfect. Yeah. Punch this maybe off 2 reels back down for the middle. And there we go, 4-2.
Yeah, Graham, and I felt Emil had a really good chance there to get to 5-1, and that would have asked some questions of Conrad. And now Conrad's won this one back. It appears that he's taking his break. So I think he feels that the momentum is possibly shifting, and I think he's going to go and work out the rest of his game plan now, and hopefully Emil can come out and stop a comeback. So, shall we have a look at the other tables while we're here, Graham? The quarterfinals. I will need to just bring that to the front, and it looks like, oh, some great games out there. I'll just start from the top. We have Christian Merva and Kestutis Kadikis, and it looks like Christian is winning 4-3 currently there. And then we have on the next table Yaroslav against Stefan Kasper, and one we mentioned earlier on in this match, Stefan Kasper. Good to see him doing well. He's 3-2 up at the moment. And in the all Spanish match we have between Juan Carlos Exposito and Iker Andoni Echeverria, I hope I've done that justice, we find that Juan Carlos trails 5-3 to Iker, and Juan Carlos has had a hell of a day, so I fully expect him to keep his neck in that, and we'll keep an eye on that for you at home while these guys finishing their break. How have you found the day's play today, Graham?
Yeah, it's been great. There's been some fantastic matches, some close ones and some not so close ones, so you've got a mixed bag of all types of things. So if anybody has missed any of the action, you can pick it all up from YouTube. It's all free. Grab yourself a coffee, a tea, a water, a beer, whatever your poison is, take a seat and go back through and watch some fantastic games. I think that's a good thing with getting with these games. Everything is recorded, so accessible at any time. But in terms of performances, there's a few that stood out for me. Like I say, Conrad's in his previous game was great. He's in a bit of a battle here, but very, very strong. Daniel Maciol was fantastic in his game, but I see that he did get beat by the Spanish player Echeverria 8-5 in the last 16. He was my pick, Daniel Maciol, to go all the way, but not to be. So yeah, there's been some, I could not say upsets, but there's been some, maybe a few surprises. This is a medal match. Sorry, Gethin, this is a medal match, let's not forget. So the winner will be guaranteed.
Well, I was just thinking about when you mentioned being able to watch the matches back, and one of the highlights for me was actually from the earlier discipline of the straight pool, watching the Pia Filler Ina Kaplan final. And if you guys, if anyone at home wants to watch that one back, that would have been on the first day, and so I believe it was the first, or Graham will correct me, and yeah, it was such a good final, and Pia played flawlessly, and that'll be a good one to watch back. And as you notice now, we're streaming two tables at the moment, and you can see the action happening on table 2, being brought to you by Pro Billiard TV. And here we go. Conrad is back from his comfort break after stealing, well, not stealing, but I felt Emil had a chance in the last frame, but Conrad nipped it and now is following it up with his break, and it looks like that's a dry break. So Emil straight back to the table, hoping to not let Conrad get to 4-3. I'm just looking at this one, Graham, and I don't think there's any way, well, I don't believe there's any way of getting shape.
Yeah, I think you can pot it and try and come back to where the 3 ball is. Probably potable. That's what he was trying. Centre of the table. It is potable. I think he's got a bit fortunate here.
Yeah, I think you called the last shot right, though. There was a gap. It wasn't immediately identifiable, but you're right. How much of the 3 has come in the way here?
Not sure. He's called something, just in case. I think that becomes a little bit of a trend. I noticed that Kasper, when I mentioned him earlier on the Euro Tour, it was 10 ball as well, and I think pretty much he nominated a ball every single time, even if it wasn't obvious that anything could go in. It's just a bit of a habit. I think it's one of those just in case things. You never know, because it is call shot, and if you don't call something, it doesn't count unless it's obvious.
No, correct. And Conrad's just a little bit heavy on pace there, and has given Emil a look at this one. Oh, full-blooded, Graham.
What a shot. All-out attack, and he's got a bit of a shot here because he can flick off this 8 ball with running left-hand side and come off a couple of rails. And I think the 3 goes in the top left as well, so I'll tell you what would be a good result here, Gethin, if that 8 ball could just disturb the 5 and open up the 4. Oh, he's just playing it straight up.
Yeah, you saw from the camera angle there, everyone at home, that the 4's not passing that 5, so there's still a challenge set out there for Emil. And you could possibly say that that 6, 7, 9 cluster could present a challenge as well. So Emil having I think he's checking both of them there.
Yeah, I think he's not sure what he's going to play. He can't play a pot and then safety or safety. He's going straight for maybe the combo. I'm not sure if did you say it goes there, Gethin? Sorry, did I miss that? It looks very tight.
No, I don't think the 4 passes, and so I think you're right. I think the combo is the order of the day. He's got a few variables to consider here, though. The 8's going to be moving, the 4's going to be coming off the 8 at a different angle. The cue ball is going towards the cushion. This is going to be a very interesting shot. Potential highlight reeler. Oh.
No. Game over. Doesn't go. Doesn't go. But he does maybe, if he can flick off the 4 ball and miss the 10, he might have a safety option at the top, but I don't think he can. That's why his body language is a little bit. Maybe he can still flick off the 10 and go up table. That's what he's checking. Scratch could be on.
By all accounts, he's unlucky there, Graham, because that was a difficult cannon in the first place, and everything came true. The 4 flicked off at a funny angle, and the cue ball sat on the cushion, so I guess he got his just deserves, but still unlucky. He went for it.
It's going to drift up maybe. I think the 10 ball's company's rescue, though, at least in terms of leaving a potting opportunity.
Oh, it has.
I'm wondering here, because the 8 ball is also a bit iffy, Gethin, because if it wasn't there, he could probably play off the right edge, try to bring the cue ball back up table. I don't think he can.
No, that's ideally what he wants to do. He'd like to get the cue ball back down here where Emil was trying to put it.
I mean, he does have a shot, but he has to play the 4 ball a lot harder than he would like, which, yeah, he's just playing a containing kind of safety here. Not much else he could do.
No, and it's not very containing, to be fair, Graham. He's having a good look at this. Is there a shot to play the 4 into the 8 and bring the cue ball back around, or is he actually looking at going for the pot? From that angle, it looked like he was looking at the pot.
Yeah, possibly. It does go. Yeah, good shot. Needs a bit more pace, though. I'm not sure if the 6 goes on its own. Looks tight again. Extremely tight.
I do like the overhead camera. It really does give you a good perspective. And as we see, that does not pass Graham. And I have to say, he's made one cannon already, but this one is, I would say, a good few times harder. It's touch or go if the nine's in the way of being able to make it.
Yeah, I think he kind of played the right shot. It was worth the risk, but Conrad's just thinking, no shot, so he's feeling the pain right now. He can hit it, but not much he can do.
Great work by the cameraman there, picking up the emotions. It really gets you involved.
Yeah, I wonder if he plays this with just loads of pace and hopes for luck, and just leaves the cue ball up by the 9. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, where's the 6? Doesn't want to go in the middle. Oh my gosh. He's having an absolute nightmare. Everything that can go wrong. He played a great shot there. That's exactly how I thought it would go. Just...
he can't buy a break, Graham. Conrad shakes his head. There's nothing you can do. Is the middle pocket in the way of playing? No. The one rail? Clearly not. Oh. He's returned the favour. Look at that. Rode his luck a bit, as you said, Graham.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him that one as a pass. I think he was a bit unlucky in that last shot, so this is probably kickable and jumpable if he wants to go that way. But getting on the 8 ball is very tricky. Maybe he might just try to kick the ball in and then play a safety. Not sure if he can play this at a lot of pace. He's trying. Yeah, that was always a danger for me. Could go anywhere.
Well, I have to say, I think the jump shot would have left the cue ball down that end of the table, so the kick was his real option, and like you said, he had to give it a bit of clout, which always changes the angle a bit and makes the shot invariably more difficult. So Conrad's called the bank. And can he buy an angle? Oh, Graham, I do like it.
Can he buy a break? It's just... Conrad's just thinking, let me get this match over with. Get out of here. Surely that's not going to drop in the middle. Goodness me.
It was a bit hot in the mouth time, but he's played that well, and you know, the shrug of his shoulders, you know, it's fascinating how this game can work. And again, when you're inexperienced, you sort of anticipate some of this somewhat, but he's had a horrid run of misfortune.
Yeah, but even just that alone, Gethin, the way he left that 8 ball and White a very easy kick, hasn't executed it as well as he would have liked. I think top rail, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for this, you know.
Yeah, and takes a chunk of the 9 with him.
Yeah, maybe. There's a horrible shot here that I can say I hope it doesn't work for him. That's why he's digging down. Off the top cushion he could have scratched off the back of the 9, so that's why he's digging in. Maybe playing a two-way shot. Get over that side behind the 9. What a shot he's played there. And it's behind the 10. Oh my gosh.
Well, if there was ever a momentum shifter, Graham, that is a shot that can do it.
He's calling the 10. That's not out of the realms of reality. If he does catch this 8 ball, pretty good behind, but it's one of these shots, Gethin, even though the combo looks like it's on, because you're playing this with spin, as soon as he hits that 8 ball, if he does hit it, it's going to spin the 10 ball in a completely different direction. So I don't see this 10 ball going in. Yeah, it's a good hit though. Oh, Conrad's reaction is going to be unbelievable if this doesn't scratch. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Conrad's sitting in his chair thinking, what on earth is going on?
I bet he was...
Incredible. I think he might even have half hooked him.
I think you're right, Graham. He's come across that in a fashion that was all he could see, and he's left it on, but the cue ball has gone up against the cushion, and that always presents a little bit more difficulty. And looking where the 9 ball is, it's looking like he has to try and play this dead weight. Yeah. Arguably, you could say he's got away with that, but I probably would expect Conrad to play safe here and try and do exactly what he did before in sticking the cue ball up behind the 9. However, let's see what Conrad's feeling. Oh.
Yeah, he was just pushing the boat out there. I don't think he really believed he was going to get back up there, if I'm honest. The pace he played it, he's going all out attack. He's had enough in his mind. That's it. I'm going to take the ball by the horns. This is me. I think he makes this. He's made it as well.
It's on its way.
What a shot that is.
Absolutely. That was a great shot. A great one-pocket shot for any fans at home, but nevertheless a great 10-ball shot too. Yeah. Wow.
He can't believe what's going on, shaking his head. What have I got to do? Yeah, it reminds me of, from a different sport analogy, when you're playing Djokovic in tennis, he always seems to get the ball back. You've got to hit an extra 3-4 shots to try and win a point, and that's what it feels like for Conrad at the moment. He's playing an extra, what seems like 4 or 5 shots just to try and win a safety battle or win a rack at the moment.
And possibly a bit of a shell shock for him coming off the back of his last match.
That's a perfect example of how pool can be. One game to the next can be very different. But let's see Emil's break, because he's been breaking pretty well. He's been controlling that cue ball in the centre of the table. He seems to be quite good at making balls evaporate, so if you can continue that on. See that one ball that you mentioned last time, Gethin? Let's see where that goes, on the left side of the table or not.
Yeah, quite. Whoa.
Makes a ball, makes 2 balls. Shot on the 1, 3 over the corner, 4 nearby. Not a terrible break, I have to say. You take this, nice angle to come round and get that cue ball to the middle of the table. Good
I
things
agree with you, Graham. He got a lot of whip on the cue ball there, probably a bit too much than he was hoping for, but still left with
these are the kind
good
of
one
racks.
ball.
Sorry, Gethin. Yeah, I was going to say, these are the kind of racks where if your opponent's just won a rack and you can quickly get one back, does you the world of good in terms of confidence. Is he going to run in front of that 9 for bridging? No, he's okay, so probably run. Yeah, you think you go 3 rails here, Gethin, and come back above the 4? I know the 5 is up the table, but I think going 3 rails might be the shot here.
Yeah, I fancy that, with the putting the 4 in the same pocket and then looking for an angle to screw back. How do you like your pace, Graham?
Bit pacey, but the good thing is where the 5 ball is, that's okay, because he can draw it either inside or outside the 9, depending how he can bite this. Maybe he can come straight back up inside the 9 and 5, straight to the top rail. That'll work nicely. This is a shot now. I don't think it goes past the 10. It might do, so you have to take a choice. Does he come back to the left side of the table? Looks like it is. Inside the 9 maybe. On the long rail. Played it well.
Yeah, very nice control. Gave himself every chance coming at the angle on the cushion there. And he's got a nice angle just to pop the cue ball out to put the 9 ball in the opposite corner. Would you think he tries to be a bit cleverer?
Yeah, that's personal preference, I think, depending on his angle. Yeah, he had enough. He's overdrawn it, but still should be just okay. He would have preferred either go a little bit further so he could have an easier shot in the bottom corner, but now he's going to have to play a side. Probably go off the short rail and back out. Don't think he can hold it. Maybe 2 rails.
Yeah, chose 2 rails effectively. Very nice. And Graham, I mean, this could have been 4-4, and you'd feel that Conrad would start to feel that there was light at the end of the tunnel, and now Emil's delivered this performance for the rack. It's putting a little bit of a hill in front of Conrad, and a little bit of a glint in Emil's eye, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a nice one to win, just to keep that bit of distance and feel like he's got a little bit of control in this match. But I don't know, there's just something that inside me feels this is going hill, Gethin. I don't know why. I feel there's a bit of pool in this.
I do love it, Graham, when you give us a bit of Mystic Meg action.
I'll tell you for why. Because all the games that I've seen today, I haven't seen a hill decider yet. Of course, there's plenty of pool to go. And I'm just thinking, with this being the last match of the day, he's took a lot of pace off that. Wow.
Oh.
2 in the side. Oh.
Yeah, the 2 came rushing around in the side, and a little grit of the teeth from Conrad there. However, he's calling. I think he's still feeling the residual effect from the last frame he won 2 racks ago. And he's like you said, Graham, he's decided this is it.
Yeah, I think, sometimes offense is the best form of defense, right? That's what they say. He's missed out though.
Yeah.
But he hasn't left a gap though. He played it in a smart way. He is a very offensive player, as we know. I'm wondering, even though he has covered it, it looks like there's a gap between the 10 ball here to play one rail kick. If he can catch it pretty full in the face, he could push it over behind the 9.
A sort of kick and stick across the table.
Yeah, potentially. You could put a lot of pace on it, but then he's hoping for luck. There's so much traffic in the middle of the table.
I think he's looking at the 2 rail, Graham.
Even better, catch it from behind and
Ooh.
Even fall in the face. That might work. You'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Conrad was up to the table, lickety split. Just trying to assess what he's been left here, and I think that's a full ball snooker. Or is it?
That was a very good shot.
Yeah.
He played that well. It's exactly what he played. Cushion first. Try and get some distance. There's plenty of balls down the table that could have helped these cause. And this kick is now a little bit more tricky because he's got no long rail to use, I think. Maybe he's going to jump this one, Gethin. Yeah, he's got his jump cue. He's called the bank.
Well, this will certainly be a highlight reel shot. No.
Well, that one certainly won't. Maybe if we have a bloopers reel, we can throw it in there. It happens from time to time. Jump shots can be really good, but they can also look maybe not so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Jump shots have a wonderful way of, when they go in, they make you look absolutely fantastic, and when they don't. Okay. So, Conrad, is he looking to put this cue ball on a 6pence and find the gap between the 10 and 7?
Yeah, just roll it through, because there is a gap there, and if he can... He's picked his choke up there, but I think he was always going to be pretty straight when he'd played the roll through, because he's got to come back for the 5, so I think he wanted a bit more angle, Gethin. He can't pot it. He can't pot it, definitely. What a great recovery shot that is. We can see the 6 doesn't go past the 9 there, Gethin, so he's going to have to pull another shot out here.
No, absolutely, and he went the opposite way to that I thought he was going to go, and he's actually come off in a good position. He can do stuff here. But
6 in the same pocket for me, I think. 6 in the same bag. Oh, what a shot.
Conrad's been listening to you, Graham.
Yeah, I'll have to tell him to turn the earpiece off. It's not allowed. Commentator help is not allowed. But a nice stop shot here. A little draw maybe to get back for the 8.
Yeah, you called that right. He just needed to get this side of the 7.
And this kind of clearance and these kind of shots is what we see in Conrad in the last frame and the last match. Gethin, this was exactly textbook. Pulling a few shots out of the bag and then just picking up the pieces in comfort and ease.
Yeah, it looks like once he gets through the first hurdle, he just gets into pace. Well, Mystic Meg Hickman has called a great possibility of there being a hill, and this is exactly what we were expecting to see if we were going to get that. So Emil is going to need to step up here now and try and maintain that lead. We are now getting to the business end of this match, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are in for a few more fireworks yet, Graham.
Yeah, like I said, I think there's plenty of pool left in this match. And with it being the quarterfinals and a medal match, I don't know, I've always got this feeling that when it's such a big, important, not so much from the semi-final to the final, yes, that's big as well, but this one is to get into something of reward, if you like, that you're winning. So I often find that these matches, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a couple of close ones, a few hills maybe. It's always the way.
And that might...
Here we go.
What's Emil got, Graham?
He's got a way of evaporating balls, that's what he's got. They just disappear. Don't think he has a dry break yet. There's another one gone. Another 2 gone. 3 gone.
Another one.
What's going on? Crazy. He's got the break absolutely wired in terms of potting balls. Just can't get that one ball in a nice place, unfortunately.
No, neither of them have been getting the roll when it comes to the one ball off the break, but yeah, evaporation is the word. Great use of it.
There's a shot here, Gethin. He could be aggressive if he wants to play the bank and try and put the cue ball up behind the 3. 3 would be in the same pot. He's not going for it though. Maybe I'm thinking too crazy. Just because he could have had cover. Just looks a bit short though.
It's 5-4. I think if it was 6-0 or 6-1, he might have had a consideration for that. But we watched Conrad play a very delicate cut shot earlier, so
he goes for this. 100% he goes for this. Yeah, he won't play it too slow though. He'd have to play a little bit of pace, I think, to get back up and down. Oh, if he went around, it's always a danger. Oh, it's right up. I thought it was going to go behind the 4 there, but when you're playing that with left-hand side, it's so easy to catch it fat.
Yeah, and a little squint. He knows that was an opportunity. I mean, he was coming back good for the 3, so let's see what Emil does here. Is he going to try and do what you were saying before and bring the cue ball up behind the 3?
Possibly. I think that was his... Was he caught the 7? Jump shot is coming, I think, unless he's left a gap maybe. Wow, he might have done, you know.
Yeah, look at that view. I think you're right. Yeah, he's not getting his jump cue out. So, looking just to run through. And not go behind the 8.
No, he's okay. If he goes even a touch further, it's not too bad, because even a stop shot on the 3 would have been okay. He's actually got a little bit more angle than he needed, so just try and keep the white ball up there next to the long rail. Bounce off the rail will be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't want to be straight on that. Wants to avoid the 8-10. Done that with ease. So, Conrad looking up at the stars before this shot. He must be getting that funny feeling.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Just a draw off the side rail. And all of a sudden, we have a tied game. And I think the word you used earlier, Gethin, was momentum. I think it's just shifting ever so slightly here. We have Conrad's break next, and the whole mystic's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets an absolute monster break here. The last break he played was a strange one, very delicate little half kind of power break. I don't know, strange why he tried that. Maybe he wanted to try something else. Is Emil taking the time out there? I think he is. I thought he had already taken the time out, but maybe not.
No, I believe the first one was Conrad's timeout, and I think this is a good time for Emil to collect himself and just ensure that, you know, if there was a momentum shift, he's giving every chance of it being snuffed out. It just looked like Conrad was having a look up into the crowd there. I don't know if he's got some supporters there watching, and because it does look from the other camera angle that he's looking out at the stars, but as we know, there's stands around the arena here, and as you look out over at table 2, the match still underway. In fact, all 4 tables underway there, and if you want to keep an eye on the scores of the other quarterfinals, you can go and visit the epbf.com website, where you can find all the latest fixtures, scores, and order of play for the forthcoming week. And as I mentioned, and as Graham alluded to, we had the straight discipline the last couple of days, and we are now into the business end of the 10 ball. Tomorrow will be the 10 ball finals, and the 8 ball will be kicking off for all disciplines, in the sense of we have men's, women's, under 23s and wheelchair events. And as I mentioned, all the scores are being kept updated online. And another thing to mention is that we have both table 1 and table 2 live streamed every day, bringing many matches with commentating, and you can find that on Pro Billiard TV on YouTube. And if you get chance, please like, subscribe, share. It's not so often we get to get into the comment section live, with the nature of 10 ball so fast and furious, but we welcome all your comments in the chat room, and we love the interaction. And if any questions do come in, there's a good chance they'll be answered in the next match that comes on, if we haven't been able to answer them during that match. And if you notice in the bottom left, ladies and gentlemen, Conrad's sitting there, and, well, it looks like he's biting his nails, which I'm sure he's not, but Emil making him wait. And always a good strategy in my book, Graham. I think a key point, it's if you've got the break, take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think when Conrad was just up there, like you said, looking at the crowd, I think he was checking the scores. There's a big board up in the hall, a big display board with all the scores, and I think maybe he was having a little spy at the other scores on the other tables whilst he was munching on some kind of energy or some kind of food. But understandable, it's a long day for everybody. There will be times to eat and to
Absolutely.
plan, but when you get to the business end, sometimes you end up being back-to-back matches. The joys of going far in a tournament.
It's a nice problem to have, Graham.
Yeah. Would you skip a meal for a bronze medal? I think you would, Gethin. I think anybody would.
I think
when I say bronze, it's a guaranteed bronze if you win, but you know, he wants to go all the way. Silver medal, gold medal. Who knows?
Well, this is where Conrad will want to keep the momentum going, and it begins here with this shot. Let's see what face he makes after this break.
That's better. Back to the power break. No balls.
And not much to see on the one ball. Yeah. He does give off some good expressions, Graham. And
Yeah.
great work by our cameraman picking them up.
Yeah, the guys are doing a great job picking up all the angles, all the shots.
And from
Nice
the
to see
overhead,
players.
it looks like he can see all of this. But clearly not the potting angle. And he's put that one ball into some trouble. But there is a gap there, Graham.
Yeah, I think even if you can get an edge, I'm not sure I can do a great deal with it. He's calling it over there just in case it goes off the 4 ball, I think.
Or is he coming around the back of the 9? No.
Oh, maybe. Maybe good call, Gethin, yeah.
Oh, I don't think he's got away with that, Graham. But yeah,
No,
you could see what he was doing.
Yeah, good call off the back cushion there. I thought he could have got an edge of it, but there was no reward in hitting that side. Even though these balls are a bit messy, there's really the 5 and the 7 is probably the big problem. The big problem. Yeah.
That's tight, Graham.
Yeah, he's fine. He's good. I'm wondering if he's going to use the 4 ball here to maybe disturb something, if he can. Or will he try to drift down onto the 5 somehow? That 5, I don't think he wants to play the 5-8 combo. Not while the 7 is in the way, so probably a kind of a stop shot here. Just take what the table gives him. Yeah, pretty much. This is a key shot for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. Especially where the 4 ball is and the 5 ball situated. This is where magic can happen, but also jeopardy.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I mean, if he was perfectly straight behind the 4, might not be a bad idea, but it's tough to avoid not going off unless you're straight. He wants to come back to the middle with a bit of angle, which he's done nicely. So something could be disturbed here. I mean, it's a tough one. The shot I do see is if he wants to draw down past the 9, he could half ball the 5, just catch the 5 on the side and push it towards a potting angle for the left pocket. But it's quite tricky to play on it unless it goes in the top. I don't know. Yeah, he's tried that. Oh, he's had a right result there, Gethin. That's not what he played.
I don't think it was, but that has come out lovely. The only thing is that that 7 has just trickled. However, he may want to move it and disrupt it with this shot. It looks like he's got an angle from that camera view.
Oh, he's hooked himself. I'm surprised he played it that soft, to be honest. I think he tried just to feather the edge, but probably needed a bit more pace. Conrad will be sitting there inside thinking, wow, what a chance I've got here if he can miss this or give him a chance. The 7 is now a little bit more open. Still doesn't go in past the black, but it's in a definite better potting position than it was.
Well, he's called it in the corner.
Yeah, he's going to play this above the middle pocket. A bit of power. Oof, good effort. How's your luck? I think he's left it. I mean, he's left it. It's not easy by any means, but he has left a shot on it.
He wasn't far away from that though, was he, Graham? Jeepers.
No, he wasn't. Not at all. This is a little bit touchy though, because these shots are very awkward to draw in. You've got a tendency to hit them fat, so he wants to play this with a bit of left-hand spin. Just come back off the rail. Needs a bit more of it. It's still a bit of a tester.
It is, but he did play it well. Them shots are fraught with danger. And he avoided the 8 and has brought the cue ball out. But you're right, this is a tester.
Oh, he cued it well. Who would have thought that in about half an hour ago that we'd be seeing possibly Conrad get 6-5 in front. The way it was 4-1, he was 4-1 down from memory, so he's hung in there and battled hard.
Yeah, and when you say battle hard, Graham, he's also had to ride through some really awful misfortunes, and for some players or in some situations that can really get to a player, but as you mentioned, Conrad just has the ability to stick that in the back of his mind and off he goes. And I believe you're right, he's brought it from 4-1 back to taking a lead.
Yeah, incredible. I think full credit. I think it feels like Emil has had a few half chances, Conrad's had a few half chances, and he's just obviously taken more of them to squeeze himself in front. There's been a few little bits of safety battles, a few kicks, a few things happened. We've had everything in this game, really. We've only seen one break and run from memory.
Yeah, I think you're correct there.
Yeah, I think that was Emil.
The guy's taking on a little bit of sustenance. As we mentioned, it's the last match of this evening over in the beautiful Tallinn in Estonia, and depending on what time zone you're on, we are located in Amsterdam and we have just an hour's difference, but I believe, Graham, you have 2 hours difference to deal with when commentating this week.
Yes, I am sitting in sunny England, and it is actually very sunny today. Very lovely weather it has been, but not that I get to see much of it when you're doing commentary, but I know it's there. And again, balls disappearing. Just a bit of deja vu here. He's playing 8 ball, 7 ball, that's what he's playing, and he's got a chance here. This one is thin, but where the 2 ball is, he's got a bit of an okay angle to come down here, Gethin. It's worth the risk, this one.
Yeah, and this would be a good time to make this risk count. The first time that Conrad's taken a lead.
It's good.
Yeah, that's very good pace.
Yeah, well judged. Nice angle here as well. And we have our first semi-finalist as well. Juan Carlos Exposito has beaten his countryman and is now in the semi-finals.
Congratulations, he's had a hell of a journey to this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, another one actually. 2. Stefan Kasper has also made it through. So he's got himself a guaranteed bronze medal. And the other match is still on at the moment, but we'll stick with this one for now. Just thought I would share that because I'd seen those results.
Brilliant, thank you, Graham. I'm a little bit scared to say anything because there's a possibility that you unjinxed this by saying there hasn't been a break and run yet, so
yeah, I think probably due one. So I think where the 10 is here as well, he probably maybe better running this 3 rails. I don't know if he can draw past the 10. Looks like he might be trying. Yeah, he could.
Yep.
Oh, he cued it very well. Good timing. Nicely
Perfect
done. Lovely
side of the
angle.
eight.
Yeah, exactly. This is.
Yeah, he's played that well, Graham, and he just needs to compose himself here. Like I said, with Conrad taking the lead, there's always a little bit of an opportunity to flap a bit. And after that strong break, it would be very unfortunate if he doesn't take advantage of it. And he's just got the cue ball off the cushion there.
Yeah, well said. And I think out of the 2 players, he's definitely breaking the best. He's definitely potting more balls off the break and giving himself more opportunities, whereas Conrad is just struggling. But again, you know, when you have these kind of thoughts of how pool goes, we've seen that many matches getting over the years and that many different scenarios. I just feel if it does go hill and then it's Conrad's break, is he not overdue a break and run? That's what you kind of feel. That's what you kind of feel. You see it all the time. Or, as they usually say, is on a hill break, it's normally a dry break. But I don't know. I feel like he's due. Maybe it's this one. Maybe he gets a good break here. He hit the last break pretty well. Just didn't get a chance.
No, absolutely. And the one ball's been leaking in different directions, but keep the Mystic Meg stuff coming, please, Graham. And we will be able to recheck on these predictions through the YouTube channel. All these matches that we're streaming will be there for everyone to come back to in the future. So,
trying the other side. Trying something else. Oh, he's got the 4-ball. And there's the 1. Sorry, Gethin.
No, that was a great spot, Graham.
Bonus points for me, I think, coming up here. These balls are sitting very nice indeed. Just what he needed. But it's one of them things where, because he hasn't had an opportunity off the break for the whole match, I think, pretty much, this is his first real chance to break and run. Just adds that little bit of extra pressure, because he knows there's a good chance, and it's to get on the hill. So it's a little bit of double bubble pressure here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of all sort going on, and these are the sort of things we like to have at the end of the match. And when you get 6-6, that's when you really start to tell the caliber of a player. And as much as Emil just break and run, the perfect answer for Conrad would be to return with like. Here's a little shake of the head there, Graham. I think he's just finished a little bit off than he wanted on the 5, so maybe he's gonna have to do a little bit of something.
Yeah, he's just playing with our minds. That was the big shot, the shot before, just to get on the 5, because he knows once he got good on the 6-ball, it's pretty much formality from here, because they're all over the pockets. You just screw this back a little bit so he's not stretching, and then play this a couple of reels, and it's hill time for Conrad.
What do you think? There's a bit of a breath of relief from Conrad here?
Yeah, maybe. I think he's not yet. Not until he gets over the line. If he does to win the match.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, I understand. I feel now this is Emil's time to try and recreate what he did in the last frame, because, like you said, Conrad is looking like he's ready to put this to bed. So it will be interesting. And it was a good spot by you, noticing that Conrad was breaking from the other side. It's something that I didn't pick up on. A really good spot. So it worked, first and foremost. But do you think you get to a point where if it's not working, we have to make a change, or is there a specific style that he'll need to change if he's breaking from the other side because he's right-handed or because of the way he plays?
I think he's just trying something different, Gethin. He hasn't had much luck off the break. He's tried hard, soft, left, right, and I think he's just switching around to try and see if something happens. I think it's good that people do that. Sometimes people just keep doing the same break and over again and trying to expect something different, you know. What's that famous insane quote? I'm sure you know it. Keep doing the same thing all the time and expecting different results. It's the sign of insanity or something like that. But let's see what this break goes. I bet you this is a dry break. You just sense it. After his breaks have been phenomenal. No, of course not. Why not?
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to give him a new nickname. Evaporating Man. That's his new nickname.
Exactly. I think we're going to have to start copying the darts, and where they start having their average score, we need to start having the average balls off the break, because he's a run for the top.
Yeah, just crazy. There's a little bit of work to do here, but Yeah, it's not as terrible as it might look at first glance because of the balls. Because where the 6 ball is, that does give him options.
Yeah. Well, he's come the right side of the 2.
This is the key shot here. Because he does need a good angle to try and make something happen. And where the 8 and 7 is getting, even playing a kind of a Karen to open them up, it's not guaranteed.
No, at first look, you know, you've got this feeling that the 7's going to trace down towards this corner pocket, but it forever looks like it's going to come out. Oh,
overhit that by some way. So we've got a choice now. How aggressive does he play? I think the shot that he could play here, Gethin, could be play kind of imaginary position behind the 7 ball. Go off kind of 2 or 3 rails maybe all the way around the table and then push that 7 ball up behind the black and lock him. Maybe that's what he was trying. He hasn't got there. He's going for the bank maybe.
Well, that was my thoughts. It looks like where he's left it. Yeah. Oh.
Well, he is. And it's one of those banks getting where I think you can just kind of stun the bank a little bit so the 7 ball will not hit the cue ball and you'll have quite a nice position on the 8 if it goes.
6-7 down, Graham. This is a big shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as big as this shot though.
Nicely put.
Yeah, but he's been queuing well, and he's not taking that in the side. I can tell you, he's taking that straight up in the top pocket. Give it every chance. Of course, he makes it.
Well, aside of the call on a dry break, you did call 7-7 and Mystic Meg.
Yeah, I'm here all week.
Good.
Yeah, I'm here all week. Free for any fortune telling questions in the chat. Just let me know. Give you the answers for free. Apart from the Euro lottery numbers, unfortunately, giving them to myself.
I have to say, my first match commentating with Tim, he did exactly the same, and they weren't easy calls either, and he was pin perfect, and I came out of that thinking, could I get lotto numbers from you please, Tim? Because it sounds like you're gonna have a good week. And yeah, it looks like you've caught the bug too.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe we're just lucky. I just feel sometimes you get a feeling in a match the way the racks are going and things are going, and yeah, it is what it is. But here we go. We wanted drama. We have drama. We have a 1-frame shootout for a guaranteed bronze medal. Does it get any better than that?
Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Took a lot of pace off. That 1 ball's coming up nicely.
What's the 8 going to do?
It's not bad. Oh, is it bad?
Ooh! I have to say, Graham, I think that just went from an easy cannon to ouch. Well,
it's one of them ones getting where he can play the combo. He doesn't want to catch the 8 as thin as you might think, and he'll come off the long rail back out again. Oh, he's missed it.
Oh,
he's missed it, Geth. That's what he was thinking in his mind. He didn't want to catch it too thin, but it was on the rail. So what a chance here for Emil. And if you look where the balls are getting... Yeah, sorry, I'm just seeing where the balls are here. Where the 3 ball is. And the 2 and the 3. Or 3 to get to the 5, sorry. That is, for me, the shot for this match. That's the winning shot right here. So 2 to 3 is going to be critical. I don't think he's playing any 10-ball combo here. He's trying to get... What's he played here? A little bit short.
Is he looking to do something now with the 2, knowing that the 3 is quite in a potable position? Oh no.
He's not disturbing anything here. I think he's trying to leave an angle on the 3 where you can come below the 5-ball, I think. If you can put the cue ball in the break box, not too bad. If you can get it all the way back up. Oh, he has one for the highlight reel. He's going to be drawing this straight back where he's standing, off the long rail, then off the short rail, and come under the 5-ball. That's my thought here. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think so.
With you, Graham.
He could try to draw it down the left side, but that's very dangerous where the 6 and 7. This way he's guaranteed probably a shot. Deep stroke. Oh, he's gone this way. Wow, what a risky shot. I'm so surprised, Gethin. Absolutely unbelievable. He's gone that way with all the risk. He took all the risk there. Conrad will be glad that he might be behind the 10-ball, but he'd be glad to come to the table.
Absolutely, Graham. I mean, Emil went down that end of the table and looked at the long 5, and he was forever in a day looking like he was going to look to get shape on that. I wasn't imagining he would do that, but he clearly saw it. Now to safety.
Oh, he's overhit it. Oh, what's he played? He's left him in the centre. Oh my goodness. I can't believe what I've just seen. He's absolutely...
Neither can I.
Destroyed inside. If that flies in the middle pocket, that is incredible.
A bit of adrenaline in the arm.
Oh, he's absolutely... You can't believe what he's done.
Oh, he's sick. Sick as a pig. However, does this 5 go in the centre, Graham? Or is he going to have to bank it? Or is he...
Oh, it does. It goes. And he hasn't... Has he left it okay? He's left in the 50-yard line, you know, Gethin. It's okay, but it's not simple, if you know what I mean. He's got to put a shot on this. He's in between.
Yeah.
See, if it went... I don't understand. If it went in the middle, why did he not just stun it out? Shots, please.
Very good.
Tell you what.
So this is the shot, round 3 rails.
Yeah, you called it, and I think, could this be worthy of a little fist pump? I don't know. I know it's a quarter-final match, but maybe he might give it like a little... Once he's shaking his hand and he walks a little bit back to the tip, maybe give it a little fist pump. Oh, I feel for Emil there. Honestly, he's played a great game. And that last, he's looking up there, he can't believe it.
Yeah, indeed.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh.
Emil will be brought. Little fist pump here. I think it's coming. Get ready.
Yes. Mystic Meg to the rescue. Graham, that's the trifecta, my man.
There you go. How about that? Well, hey, look, Gethin, what an absolute fantastic match. Pleasure to do it with you. Thanks for joining, everybody. We will be back tomorrow morning for the 8-ball matches kicking off, and then later on in the day we will have the semi-finals and finals of the 10-ball. How about that for a day of pool tomorrow, Gethin?
I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be fun-filled and packed with action. So I'm looking forward to the early morning. I hope you are too, Graham. Thank you ever so much for your time today. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
Bye bye all.